I don't have any inside information.
The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Wednesday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, Before Dark. In for Blue here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM with JJ LaSelva. The Hacker Ryan Green with you on what was a very big day, it appears, in the city of Jacksonville, really for numerous reasons. The Atlantic Sun moving their headquarters here obviously is a big story collegiately. And it appears, whether you want to say the framework of a deal, if deal is too strong but things are progressing in that fashion, whatever verbiage you want to use, it appears to be very, very good news, regardless of how you describe it, for the Jaguars, the city of Jacksonville, to reach an agreement on the stadium renovations. And that's where we're going to begin here in just a moment. The city council is supposed to see something in regards to this next Tuesday. And again, I've heard the word deal. I've heard the term framework of a deal. Whatever you want to call it, it's all good. There's nothing bad that has come out today about the renovations in the stadium. I guess the only bad news is if you were one of those people that were convinced Jacksonville was moving to London, you're going to have to probably change that narrative, it appears, because that is likely not to be the case, and we can just squash all of that. So we're going to begin there in just a moment. But again, very good news on the doorstep of rookie minicamp. The rookies come in. They're on the field Friday and Saturday. We'll be down there on Friday. I'm scheduled to talk with DeAndre Prince, the fifth-round pick out of Ole Miss. Looking forward to meeting him and talking with him, and we'll bring you that conversation on Friday's edition here of Hacker After Dark. Guest lineup tonight, former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts joins me every week during the regular season. We get Cecil periodically in the offseason. Tonight is one of those nights as we will talk Jaguar draft, we will talk Jaguar offseason, and we'll look ahead to rookie minicamp this weekend with former Jaguar Cecil Shorts. Also in the 6 o'clock hour, bring you a Hacker After Dark replay of a conversation I had about a week and a half ago now. Chad Mahaffey. You say, well, Hacker, who's Chad Mahaffey? That's funny you ask. Let me tell you. Chad Mahaffey is the head football coach of Walker High School in Walker, Louisiana, the high school that Brian Thomas went to his junior and senior years. Chad Mahaffey coached Brian Thomas during his junior and senior years of high school, and we will have a Hacker After Dark replay in case you missed it on our regular show on the doorstep of rookie minicamp. We'll talk to a guy that knows and knew Brian Thomas well before most of us in Jacksonville knew that name. So his high school coach, Chad Mahaffey, comes up here in about 45 minutes or so. So we're loaded, 7 o'clock hour, jam-packed as well. We'll get to that in just a moment. Every night here on Hacker After Dark, we do give you a big deal of the night. And JJ LaSelva, let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal. It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
You know, we do big deals of the night every night here on Hacker After Dark, and we've done so for over 2 years now. And I'm not sure in a sports-related sense if there's ever been a bigger deal of the night that we've started with than the news that started coming out earlier today. It was first reported that a deal has been reached, and then it was, I guess, changed to the framework of a deal. Then the verbiage was a lot of progress is going forward. Things are looking great. Whatever you want to call it, whatever makes you feel good in the sentence you're writing for your headline on whatever website you write for. The bottom line is for the Jaguar fan base, today has been a very good day in regards to the agreement, the framework of a stadium renovated deal between the city and the Jaguars. It's going to be presented to the city council next week, by all reports next Tuesday night, and that's when we'll get a look at what has the framework of the agreement is. What is going to mean for this city, what it's going to look like, what it's going to cost, how much they're going to have to, pay, the divvying up of it. We're going to find all that out, it appears, next week at the city council meeting. Fantastic news. I mean, there isn't better news if you're a Jaguar fan. How many years have we in the Jaguar media, you, the Jaguar fan base, had to defend this city? Remember, first it was Los Angeles, right? Jaguars are moving to L.A. Well, then the Rams and the Chargers moved to L.A. So then it was, the Jaguars are going to move to London. I can't tell you how many out-of-market radio interviews I've done previewing Jaguar games or just talking Jaguar football with other cities. And regardless of the story that they brought me on to talk about, inevitably one of the stories that I got asked about was the Jaguars in London. Oh, they're playing a game over there. How do Jaguar fans feel about that? Oh, it's 2 games over there now, Ryan. You know the Jaguars are going to move to London. You had guys like Jason La Canfora over a decade ago say the Jaguars were going to move to London. That does not appear to be the case. And quite frankly, I don't believe it ever was in the cards. I never have believed that, never will believe that moving forward. As it appears, this stadium renovation, it's going forward. I mean, this thing looks very, very, very good to happen. And it's terrific news for you. It's terrific news for us. It's terrific news for everybody involved in this city when it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fans, media, everybody with an interest, a vested interest in this team. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And I can't wait for the city council meeting to get some more information. Next week's a big week, right? You got the city council meeting on Tuesday. The NFL schedule comes out on Wednesday. There'll be a lot of juicy stuff next week. But for the here and now, for what was being reported today, and by the way, when this kind of stuff goes public, when the president of the city council and the mayor's office and other people start releasing little tidbits of info like this, they would not do that unless they're on the doorstep of a handshake or unless a handshake's already taken place. It's going to happen. Why else would you let it out publicly to the extent it was let out today? So again, I mean, look, Jacksonville, Florida, the Jacksonville Jaguars, it is a gigantic deal. I mean, for what I do, for what we do at 1010XL, for what a lot of you guys do that listen and support this team, and you think about what that team has meant to this city. You think where Jacksonville was in the 80s and the early 90s prior to 1995 and what Jacksonville is now from a business perspective, from just everything involved, what that team has done. And now it looks like long-term we can finally put to bed all the nonsense of are they going to move here, are they going to move there. It is a fantastic day. I can't wait to get more info next week at the city council meeting when it's revealed, I guess. But for where we are on this Wednesday, the 8th day of May in 2024, thumbs up to everybody involved on the direction it appears this thing is going with those stadium renovations. Again, we are on the doorstep of Jaguar rookie minicamp. Again, the schedule comes out 1 week from tonight. OTAs in less than 2 weeks, and the rookies are on the field on Friday. We'll get to see Brian Thomas and Mason Smith, Jarian Jones, Jordan Jefferson, DeAndre Prince, on down the line. I'm looking forward to being out there on Friday, checking it out. Again, we'll talk to DeAndre Prince. We'll bring you that conversation on Friday. But let's talk to a man that wore the Jaguar uniform. Let's talk to a man that participated in OTAs and mini camps. What's it like to be a rookie? You get drafted, the whirlwind that it's been for these guys over the last 10 or 12 days, and then bam, you're on the field in your brand new city with your brand new organization for this rookie minicamp and heading on into OTAs in less than 2 weeks. Cecil Shorts lived that life, 7 years in the NFL, 4 of those years right here in Jacksonville. Again, you get him every week during the year on Hacker After Dark. You get him periodically during the off season. And I thought with rookie minicamp on the doorstep, Let's talk to Cecil about all of it on what is, again, a terrific night for the Jaguar fan base, everybody involved with the Jacksonville Jaguars, with the news that's coming out about the framework, an agreement, a deal, or even if it's just major progress being made that way. I've read everything today that said one of those four things, and it's all great, great news for the future of that organization in this city. Cecil Shorts, former Jaguar wide receiver, next on a Wednesday night edition of Hacker After Dark with J.J. LaSelva, the Hacker Ryan Green with you. Jacksonville, we're glad you're with us. It's 1010XL, and it's 92.5 FM.
This is the place for Jaguars football.
Your AFC South champs, baby.
1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gates store anywhere around Duval and make yours a dandy, and do it today.
This is Dr. George Bari inviting you to look online at BariOrthopedics.com for the latest in medical advancements when it comes to getting you back to full joint health. After studying under Dr. James Andrews, I know proper diagnosis is the first key to treatment, and educating the patient is the fastest path to recovery. Whether it's chronic back pain, nagging arthritis, or necessary joint replacement, we're here to serve you in the best possible way. We are Bari Orthopedics, and online at BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost are the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 23rd.
Surf in the Summer Surf Camp is now registering for camps this summer. Get your kids out to the beach this summer. For registration and session dates, log on to surfinthesummer.com. Surf in the Summer, Jacksonville Beach's premier surf camp.
See the world through the eyes of a linebacker.
I tell it like I see it, and I see it like a middle linebacker.
Tom McManus joins Jaguars Today every Friday morning.
Period.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
Hacker here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. You know, for a long time, I heard Mike Dempsey and Matt Hayes talking about Awaken 180. Now, I have tried a lot of weight loss programs in the past, and when I heard them talking about Awaken 180, I said, you know what? What the heck? Let me give another one a try. The best decision I have ever made when it comes to my weight loss. I got on Awaken 180 on February 20th, and since that point, I'm down almost 60 pounds. 60 pounds in well under 3 months, thanks to the good folks at Awaken 180 Weight Loss. The best weight loss program I have ever been on. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, do yourself a favor. Go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800. Take it from me. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
What player has the longest hitting streak in Major League Baseball history?
It's always a good idea to compare homeowners' insurance rates instead of renewing year in and year out. Log on to southernoak.com and get an instant quote in minutes.
Our family protecting yours, Southern Oak Insurance.
Joe DiMaggio holds the record for longest hitting streak, which lasted for 56 games in 1941 with the Yankees.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Look, obviously the warmer temperatures are already here. And if you're like me, you want that oppressive Florida heat to stay outside your house. That's why I'm such a fan of Pella Windows and Doors. By now we know that windows are the #1 way that heat gets in and the cold gets out. So when you're ready for the stylish design and energy efficiency that comes from Pella Windows and Doors, visit their showroom on Phillips Highway, just north of Bay Meadows, or you can always find them online at PellaJacks.com. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. Rookie minicamp for the Jaguars kicks off tomorrow. We will be down there on Friday taking in rookie minicamp, and then, of course, OTAs now less than 2 weeks away. Let's talk to a guy that I'm sure remembers rookie minicamp, and I know he remembers OTAs. Former NFL wide receiver, including 4 years right here in Jacksonville. My buddy Cecil Shorts. You get him every week on Hacker After Dark during the year, and we get Cecil periodically with us here during the off season. Cecil, it's been a little while, man. How are you?
I'm well, brother. Enjoying the off season. How about you, man?
Cecil, we're good, man, and thank you for the time as always. All right, a brand new wide receiver here in town with Brian Thomas. You and I spoke about him in the pre-draft process. You're very familiar with Brian Thomas out there at LSU. As a former wideout such as yourself, your thoughts on the new addition here in Jacksonville?
Huge guy, man. 6'3", around 210 pounds. I want to say he's one of the fastest receivers this year in the class with a 4.33 at the combine. And what's impressive about the 4.33 is it translates to the field, right? You'll see guys that run 4.33 at the combine. They're like, hey, where was this on film? Why haven't we heard of this guy throughout the year? Well, you've seen that on the film. He is rolling in the SEC going by defenders. Does a great job of going up and get the ball. He uses a huge frame to go up and meet the ball at his highest point, comes down with it. He's a big play waiting to happen, right? 17.3 yards a catch, 17 touchdowns this year. He is somebody that's going to be a huge down-the-field asset to Trevor Lawrence and his offense. He is a 50-50 ball magnet. He provides a huge, big red zone target. He is somebody that they're going to use. I think he has a chance to be very productive in this offense next year.
How does his game intertwine with Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, the new guys now on that wide receiver core?
It's interesting. It's interesting because I look at Gabe Davis as kind of similar as far as a big guy that can go down the field and make the tough catch, make the 50-50 balls. And then you got a guy like Christian Kirk who can run himself. So you're looking at a offense that wants to be explosive, right? You look at Christian Kirk, you get the speed. You look at Gabe Davis, who his targets, his yards per catch, his big play ability shows up, especially in the biggest games and playoffs. And then you got Brian Thomas Jr. does the exact same thing. So you can tell they're trying to get very explosive, get fast, and get the plays going down the field, which is huge. So he'll fit right in. And then, of course, you got Evan Ingram in the middle. So you got 3 quality options at receiver. And then, honestly, with him being a first-round pick, I know Zay Jones got released. There's a question, will they keep Zay? Well, when you draft a guy in the first round, he's going to play, right? That's just what it is. So I expect him to be used going down the field on post routes, on go routes, possibly a few comebacks because you run by the guy a few times. But they're going to use him to be explosive down the field, along with Gabe and Christian and Evan Ingram.
Former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Cecil, back in August, you and I talked every week leading into the year. Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Calvin Ridley, right? We were fired up. It didn't materialize. Injuries had a lot to do with that, particularly with Zay, then Christian Kirk at the end of the year, and now Ridley leaves in free agency. Zay gets cut. We'll see where he ultimately lands. He's had a ton of visits. I know he's already been to Arizona, Tennessee, and I believe today he's in Dallas, so he is certainly in demand. But when you compare what's in the wide receiver room now, Kirk remains, Devin Duvernay is new, Gabe Davis is new, Brian Thomas is new, to what they had last year. Similarities, differences, pros, cons, how would you assess that?
Younger and faster. Again, it's about being explosive. They're younger and they're faster. Devin Duvernay is known for what? His speed. Brian Thomas Jr. was he known for 4.33. Like his explosive ability. He had 12 touchdown catches. Thomas Jr. from LSU in the draft pick this year. He had 12 touchdown catches of at least 20 yards down the field. Like he is an explosive player waiting to happen. We bring in Gabe Davis, the exact same thing. And Gabe didn't get a ton of targets because he was behind Stephon Diggs getting all the targets. You know, when Stephon was there, he was getting 100-plus targets a year in those 4 or 5 years he was there, 4 years he was there. So Gabe was getting kind of the leftovers and making big plays when his number is called, right? So when you look at that receiver room now, you're younger, you're more explosive, you're faster, still some development that has to happen, right? I wouldn't say they're a great route running receiver group. I think it's more speed, and when you get a lot of speed guys, it's hard for certain guys to be able to slow down, put the brakes on, and run different routes. But if you find ways, and that's going to be on the OC, that's going to be on him to trying to find ways to get different guys open. But when you think of explosiveness and speed, man, it got to excite you when it comes to this receiver room.
I want to branch out to some of the other draft picks here in a moment, Cecil, but final thought on the wide receivers, at least for now. You look at some of the undrafted free agents they brought in. They're all tall. They're all big, including one guy out from your way at Texas San Antonio, Joshua Cephas, who a lot of people were surprised he didn't get drafted. He could be a surprise when rookie minicamp begins here tomorrow. They're obviously looking for a certain type of player because Brian Thomas, along with the undrafted guys, all fit that similar body frame.
They're looking for a tall, space-eating guy, a guy that can really make the tough contested catches. They're looking for guys that can maybe not, I wouldn't say it has to be a super fast guy, but they're looking for guys to be big plays down the field. Guys get that 50-50 ball. They're looking for guys to make explosive plays. And in their mind, it seems like they want that taller frame, which is fine. You can see that across the league, whether it's Mike Evans, whether it's whoever, right? Those type of frames can make plays for you. And if that's going to help Trevor Lawrence take that next step forward, continue to ascend, and that offense continue to get better, then let's see it. I'm all for it.
Trent Baalke at the end of the year, against Cecil Shorts here with us on 1010XL. Cecil, Trent Baalke at the end of the year laid out a blueprint back in January. We want to get bigger. We want to get more physical on the line of scrimmage. They go out and get Mitch Morse in free agency. They get Eric Armstead. They re-sign Ezra Cleveland. They bring in Trevis Gibson. And then in the draft, you go out and get Javon Foster on the O-line. You bring in some huge defensive linemen at LSU in Mason Smith, Jordan Jefferson, and Miles Cole. Clearly, Baalke had an agenda of wanting to get bigger and more physical on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and it looks like, at least on paper right now, he accomplished that.
I tell you what, you look at the draft picks, you look at Mason Smith. I guess you can call the Jaguars the Jacksonville Tigers.
Yeah,
The way
yeah.
three guys in the draft. But that speaks to the talent that LSU has, right? That speaks to the talent and what they're looking for. You want to get more physical. You want to be more dominant on both sides of the ball. They did that in free agency and definitely addressed those needs in the draft. When you get guys like Mason Smith, who's 6'5", 306, who can play inside, can play outside. When you bring guys like Eric Armstead in, it sets a tone, right? It sets a tone. It seems like they want to be a physical, nasty team on defense. And when you bring guys like that in, that's going to help you win games. To me, you still win games by dominating the offensive line and dominating that defensive line, right? You got to get pressure on the quarterback and stop the run. Then you got to protect your asset and Trevor Lawrence and be able to run the ball with Travis Etienne, right? So when you can do that, when you can shut offenses down, when you can get pressure on those star quarterbacks, because the AFC is loaded. I mean, loaded with quarterbacks. You look at every division, you got some superstar big names in those divisions. So if you can get a good defensive line and get pressure, stop the run, and then protect your asset in Trevor Lawrence, you can keep him healthy. I think he can be one of the best in the league, but you got to keep him healthy and keep him upright.
See, so I want to talk about some overall roster issues in a moment, but you went through this process, the pre-draft process. You arrive in Jacksonville. I'm sure they threw you out of rookie minicamp very soon after that. What is this weekend going to be like, and what has this 2-week period been like since the draft? If guys find out they're coming to Duval County, they got to make arrangements to get here. They get here, and I imagine it's a whirlwind for them right now.
I tell you what, man, my year. Now I've seen it before, right? I have not been through rookie minicamp because it was the lockout year. So the year we got drafted, they literally talked to Del Rio and whoever else on the phone, and then I didn't see them until training camp. But I've been through it as far as seeing it the next year, all the years I was playing. I've seen it covering different teams. This time period is exciting. You get drafted or you get called to this team, and then now it's time to show your skills. Now you get here, right? Now your mind says, how do I stay here? If I'm not a draft pick, how do I get noticed, right? One of my goals each and every day was to get noticed and do something to stand out on film every single day. That's how you make the team. Because for those rookies, it's not guaranteed. 90 guys are coming in on the whole entire roster. Only 53 are going to make the roster. And then how they do cuts now is different. It used to be like 2 or 3 different cuts. Now I think it's just one huge cut, right? So it's important to get as many reps in as you can and make plays when you're out there. It's important to get noticed. It's important to be really good on special teams. Unless you're a first round, second round, and probably third round pick, fourth round on down, you're not safe. I've seen third round picks get cut because they weren't good enough. But fourth round on down, you are not safe. So it's imperative right now that you're taking it seriously. Of course, you want to celebrate. You want to be excited. That time is over now. Now it's go time. Now it's all football. For a rookie, this is the longest year of football in your life. You go from training in the summer to get ready for your last season of college football. You go through the whole entire season. You play a bowl game, possibly, playoffs, possibly. And then you go straight into training mode. Then from training, you go combine, pro days, you go to meetings, you got the draft process, and then you get about a week, and then next thing you know, boom, you're right back into football again. So it's a long rookie year, and it can get frustrating. It can get overwhelming at times, but this is what you want to do. So now it's about go out there and making it happen.
Final moments with former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts. Cecil, quickly, the Jarvis Landry thing. He's going to come here for a workout during rookie minicamp. I mean, he hasn't played in the league since 2022. He's 31 years old, but obviously he says he's healthy. He wants to come see what he has, and certainly the Jaguars want to take a look at him as well. What, if anything, did you make of that?
I think it's a few things. I think, one, you're doing him a favor. He may know somebody. His agent may know somebody, and they're like, hey, he still can give it a shot. When he played, he was very productive. He's a very, very tough guy. So if he's a guy that can show he still has it in rookie minicamp and show he can make plays, he's never been a fast guy, right? So I think it's going to be interesting because the way they're setting the room up now is for taller, bigger, faster, explosive guys, right? Christian Kirk is not very tall, but he's very explosive. Landry has never been that explosive type of player that you think, oh my gosh, he's going to be blowing by people. He's a tough guy. He's a route runner. He's physical, run after catch. But if he can bring that leadership quality, if he show he still got it, he can bring that leadership quality, that can be a good asset to the room. But he has to go out there and, it's been about a year or two that he's played, so he got to go out there and show a lot. But that's what I think it is. A favor done from an agent or somebody that knows people, that's not surprising. But if he can go out there and play, hey, he can be an asset in a smaller role. I don't see him having the big role if he makes the team, but a smaller role.
It would be an interesting dynamic. Obviously, he's a former LSU Tiger. Brian Thomas coming in from LSU. I'd like to keep Landry around for that for the next couple of months this offseason. All right, Cecil, you look at the roster. To me, there's two spots where I think potentially you could add a veteran. Edge pass rush, and we did this song and dance last year, and they never brought anybody in, or at least they never signed anybody. I'm still not sure what they have behind Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker. They brought in Trevis Gibson, which is an upgrade over Caleb Chason, but there's not much after that. And then at corner, right, they drafted two guys. You got Darby and Tyson Campbell and Darnell Savage, but with Xavier Howard and Stephon Gilmore and guys like that out there, I don't know. I think veteran corner and or veteran edge pass rush is where the team should be looking.
I tell you what, when you look around the division alone, and you look at, let's start with the Colts, right? You got Pittman Jr., you got Josh Downs. I think they just drafted a guy, A.D. Mitchell from Texas, right? You look at the Texans. They got Stephon Diggs they traded for. They got Nico Collins, 1,400 yards last year, and you got Tank Dell, extremely talented guy, right? Then you look at Tennessee. They got, as you know well, Calvin Ridley on one side, and they have Trayvon Burks, who's still learning how to be a receiver, but the pressure won't be on him because former first-round pick, so he has talent. But now you got DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley are surrounding him, right? So maybe he can step up.
And they just signed Tyler Boyd. Yeah, Tennessee signed Tyler Boyd yesterday.
And they signed, so that's depth right there. So you look at the AFC South alone, who you play twice a year, you need to be able to cover. You need to be able to cover because those guys can play. All of those names have made plays or have potential to make plays. And then it's a passing league now. Do I still think you need to run the ball to win? Absolutely. But it's a passing league. You need to pass to be able to score, right? So I think corner, it has to be high on the list, whether you're bringing in one vet, two vets. You have to solidify that cornerback spot. And then again, not only do you have to have the cover, you got to rush the passer. So if you ain't got no pressure on those guys, they're going to, no matter who's the cornerbacks, they're going to be able to pick those guys apart. There's no pressure on them. So I think those, I agree with you, are two needs that you need to bring in, whether it's Xavier Howard, whether it's Stephon Gilmore, or some other D linemen. You have to fill those voids. I wouldn't say voids, but add more depth to what you have right now.
Cecil, final question. We talked on January 7th when the season ended. That was a bad day for the Jaguars, for the fan base, everybody involved. That was brutal in that collapse. Now here we are 4 months later. Rookie minicamp begins tomorrow. Free agency is for the most part in the rearview mirror. The draft is obviously in the rearview mirror. Are they better? Is this a better roster now than it was when they walked off the field in Nashville back in January?
I would say yes, but I think the biggest thing is going to be health. Right? The biggest thing is going to be health. This team will go as far as the health will go. If you can keep Trevor Lawrence upright and keep him healthy, I think your roster, your team will finish way better than what you did the year before. If not, if he's banged up, if other guys are banged up, if you aren't getting pressure on the quarterback, if you have to continue to struggle against the run defense, just run defense continue to struggle, then I think you'll battle some things. But I think health is a huge thing. And if I had to guess if they're better, I would say yes. They are better than the previous year. You just got to keep healthy.
Hard to believe. Rookie minicamp is here. OTA is a couple of weeks away. Cecil, the next time you and I talk, man, we'll be previewing training camp, and that's amazing to think about as this offseason has absolutely flown on by. I appreciate it, brother. We'll talk soon.
Hey, take care, man. Thanks.
Feel the thrill of victory.
Here they come, checker play!
This Sunday at Darlington, brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 on Jacksonville's NASCAR station 1010XL.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-682-8255 760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
David Lane here again for Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. After several surgeries for age-old issues, mainly my back and shoulders, there's no doubt that Southeast Orthopedic Specialists is my sustaining resource for living pain-free. Take it from me, and I'm being really honest here, there's no better orthopedic facility here in Jacksonville.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Ever buy a gym membership but don't ever use it? Who hasn't? E.T. here, sports fans, and instead, I send plants and flowers to people I love from Kuhn Flowers, home of the beautiful window display on Beach Boulevard. Now that's money well spent. Kuhn Flowers.
I-9 Sports wants to make sure kids all over the First Coast can enjoy growing up on a field or in a gym. And right now, summer and fall registration is open. So make sure you find out what I-9 Sports offers in your area across Duval, Clay, and St. John's. i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 8, 1966, Baltimore Oriole outfielder Frank Robinson hit the only home run ever hit outside Baltimore's Memorial Park.
Your cooling system isn't working. Maybe somebody showed up with a portable electronic device. Then they discussed with you what your options are. Maybe they gave you an estimate that seems like an awful lot of money. What's the smart thing to do? When the situation merits a second opinion, get a Mike Merritt opinion. Yes, the Mike Merritt Comfort Team shows up with hand tools. We've never been able to fix an air conditioning problem with a tablet. Mike Merritt has been the trusted name for more than 30 years because there's never any hocus pocus. The Merritt team will walk you through the diagnostic steps up close and personal and show you exactly what you need. And the Mike Merritt price is likely to be far less because there's never an overtime charge, and the Merritt team doesn't work on commission. So remember, when it comes to the health of your cooling system, a second opinion can only help, and a Mike Merritt opinion can save you money. Florida license CACO 50384.
Hacker here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. I'm starting to get a lot of people on social media or through my email asking me about Awaken 180. Hacker, tell me about it. What have you done that's worked so well? And I'm happy to talk to anybody about it. If you're thinking you need to lose weight, if you want to lose weight, if you think it's time in your life to make a change, I'll be more than happy to give you a lot of information about Awaken 180. You know why? Because Awaken 180 has changed my life. 60 pounds down in 2.5 months. 60. And it's all thanks to the good folks at Awaken 180. In fact, I have my weekly coaching meeting tomorrow with Kate. We'll go over my game plan for the next 7 days, just as we've done for the last 2.5 months. If it's time for you to drop weight like it was for me, do yourself a favor. Do your family a favor. Call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800, or go online to awaken180weightloss.com. That company, that program is changing lives. I'm one of them. You could be next. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Golf takes center stage at Hidden Hills Golf Club, but we have a little bit of something for everyone. So whether you want to practice, play, or just relax with friends in the Hills Grill, Hidden Hills is a place for you. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays, and new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sports book. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Men suffering from ED or PE, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. You'll even get a gift that enhances performance in the bedroom. Call 904-664-8217.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. In for Blue this week, 1010XL 92.5 FM. Coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com, Jaguars Radio. He will stop by right about 7:15 or so, as we'll preview rookie minicamp, kind of do a recap of the draft and the offseason. It's been a little while since I talked to JP. It'll be good to catch up with him. And coming up towards the bottom of the 7 o'clock hour, Eric Galko, who is the director of football operations of the Shrine Bowl, one of the all-star games. They had half the Jaguar draft class and a couple of the big-time undrafted free agents participated in the Shrine Bowl. Eric Galko, the director of player ops of the Shrine Bowl, will join us to talk about some of these Jaguar draft picks that hit the field on Friday for rookie mini camp. I tell you guys this periodically, but I think I need to reinforce it. You know, at least once a show, I'm going to try to, and that's the MyBookie Digital Studio. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. Every show on 1010XL streams 6A, normally to 10P. In this week's instance, 8P. But we're on every night on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL's MyBookie Digital Studio. Again, 1010XL Facebook, 1010XL YouTube, 1010XL Twitter/X. You can watch the show there every night if you are so inclined, and we hope you do. If you're outside of your car, you don't want to fire up the app for whatever reason, you can just log on and catch us on any of those social media platforms. After the draft, we had the opportunity on Hacker After Dark to catch up with Chad Mahaffey. Chad Mahaffey is the head coach of Walker High School in Walker, Louisiana. That is the high school of Jaguar first-round pick Brian Thomas. Chad coached Brian, or was the head coach for Brian his junior and senior years in high school, knew Brian well before then. Before Brian Thomas takes the field for rookie minicamp, I thought we'd give you a Hacker After Dark replay, a guy that knows him very well. Chad Mahaffey, a Hacker After Dark replay, the head coach of Walker High School in Walker, Louisiana, right now on Hacker After Dark. Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, your home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Last night, Brian Thomas, the wide receiver from LSU, became the first-round pick for the Jags, taken with the 23rd selection. Let's find out about Brian Thomas from a guy that coached him in high school. The head coach of Walker High School in the state of Louisiana is head coach Chad Mahaffey, and he joins us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Coach, how we doing?
Doing good. Appreciate you having me on.
Hey, Coach, we thank you for the time. All right, Brian Thomas, you were his head coach for 2 years in high school, his junior year and his senior year. Let's talk about him. First and foremost, what did it mean to you last night to see one of your former guys get drafted in round number 1?
Yeah, our school, Walker High School is a really good, community-based school, and Brian's been a guy that's, been well known, for his athletic exploits for a long time, and I think the whole town, the whole community is excited to kind of see his success and see him achieve the things that he's worked for. So, more than anything, just happy for Brian. I mean, this is a great opportunity. I think with players going to the NFL, you don't have control over where you're going, especially as a rookie, to be able to go to a team that's been succeeding, on a high level, has got some recent playoff experience, got a great quarterback, got a great coach. I mean, I think from a football standpoint, that part is really, I feel fortunate for him, that he's not going to a place that, sometimes you feel like, man, they got a long way to go,
The head coach of Walker High School in the state of Louisiana, Chad Mahaffey, here with us on 1010XL. You had Brian his junior year and his senior year. You were his head coach for those 2 seasons. When did you know, Coach, that something was special about Brian Thomas?
Well, I was at another school in Baton Rouge, and when I took the job, I had known about him being a standout performer, and he had a great sophomore year. So I had obviously kind of aware of that before making that move. But I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot of insight to see the kid out there running around and doing the things he was doing. He was an outstanding basketball player. I think the year I came, they ended up making it to the state finals, and they had won the state championship before, where he was the MVP of the tournament as a freshman. So I got to see him on the basketball court before I saw him do any football things, and you could just see the explosiveness, and definitely exciting to get to work with him.
Now, we see the 4.33 speed at the combine. We see the size. Tell us about the player. What kind of player is he? What did the Jaguars get last night when they drafted Brian Thomas?
Yeah, I think he's just got a really unique skill set. A big guy, just explosion's kind of the one overriding characteristic, I would say. And he's really very physically strong. That's the other thing that stands out. A lot of times wide receivers, maybe a little slighter, maybe not the most physical guys, but, he can be a really great physical presence on the outside as a blocker, but also there's just something, when he goes up for a football, I think he's generating, so much force. You just see the other DBs sometimes just kind of fall down with him. They have a hard time getting up to the level where he's at because of his strength and explosion, and just a really unique skill set. And then the other thing I think Brian, always had, a lot of times these tall guys, they're kind of, straight speed, you might see, but he had a lot of wiggle and run after the catch. He was a great punt returner for us, in high school as well. So I think for a tall guy to have some of that run after catch ability is pretty unique as well.
Couple of more for head coach Chad Mahaffey of Walker High School out there in the state of Louisiana. He was the head coach for Brian Thomas, Brian's junior and senior years there in high school. Coach, the Jaguars always talk about character, right? They want to bring good guys into the locker room. There was a time here in Jacksonville where that wasn't necessarily the case, and Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke always make a point of wanting not only to bring in the good players, but the correct players for what they're trying to build here. Brian Thomas as a person, how would you describe him?
Yeah, I mean, I think, he comes from a good family environment, with his mom and dad. And I think they've, definitely instilled the kind of no nonsense, character in him. I don't think he's a guy you've got to, worry about that is really out seeking the limelight or the attention or a lot of things outside of football. I think he, just enjoys, competing and, doing the things, on the field that he's supposed to do. And so I think you get a guy that's, not going to, like I say, draw attention to the team in a negative light because of off-field things. He just really pretty quiet, shows up, does his work. And then again, he got a really, good competitiveness, when the lights come on. And I think you see that emotion come out of him on the field at those times.
Coach, as we begin to wrap up, when's the last time you spoke with him? Are you going to talk to him in the near future? Does he get back to Walker High School very often? Obviously became a big star at LSU this past season.
Yeah, we're only the school's about 25 minutes from LSU's campus, so he's back and forth at games, basketball games, and stuff like that, especially in the off season for them. So he's still definitely a guy that's come around, and I know this is all this pre-draft and all this kind of thing has been a hectic time. I texted with his dad earlier this week about something else, and I've kind of learned that these guys are getting hit from all kind of angles right now. So probably give it a few days and try and reach out and just, tell him congrats again and think he's got a great situation there to go to in Jacksonville.
Head coach Chad Mahaffey of Walker High School out there in Louisiana. He was the head coach for Brian Thomas, Brian's junior and senior years in high school. Brian was drafted 23rd overall last night in round number 1 by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Coach, we'll say hello to Brian for you when we see him at the press conference, and thank you for joining me on short notice, my friend. Really appreciate it.
Yep, not a problem, and appreciate it. Appreciate you giving us a call.
Glad to bring you that Hacker After Dark replay. That was the night after the draft on our regular program, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. But since we were moved up this week because Baloo's on vacation, thought we would bring you a replay of that with rookie minicamp on the horizon as Brian Thomas, the first-round pick. And look, the more time that goes by from that draft, honestly, the more I like it. And those of you that have listened to me for a while, I'm never sunshine and rainbows guy, all right? I have been just absolutely obliterated by some people on social media for being too Jaguar negative at times. But having said that, I do like this draft class because all of these guys are going to contribute. See, last year was weird, and in hindsight, it looks more and more awful as we go along. Anton Harrison was a great pick because it was a need and it was a good player. You drafted a backup tight end in round 2. You drafted a backup running back in round 3. You drafted a backup linebacker that ultimately got hurt in round 4 with a backup defensive lineman. You drafted another backup defensive lineman in round 5. Now Antonio Johnson, the second fifth-round pick, looks like he's going to be a good player. But guys that were going to be backups at best. This year, think about this, all right? Brian Thomas is going to have to be a big weapon for you on offense. Mason Smith is going to play, and he's going to play a lot on that D-line. Same thing, I believe, with Jordan Jefferson because Fadakasi's gone. We'll see about some of the other veterans that may not make this roster, but I expect those 2 LSU tackles to play a lot on defense. Jarian Jones is going to play a lot. Third-round pick at a position of need. I think DeAndre Prince is going to find his way, certainly on special teams, if not cracking some of that defensive lineup as well. The kicker is going to be the kicker of the future in Cam Little. Keelan Robinson is going to be one of your main return guys. The only project that you drafted that probably won't play a lot this year is 7th-round pick Miles Cole. So Balky this year drafted not only need, but he drafted guys that are going to fill positions and are going to get in there and play. Last year, he did not do that. Now, I hope the best for Brenton Strange and Tank Bigsby and Ventrell Miller and Tyler Lacey, Cooper Hodges, I guess Yasir Abdullah. I don't think the verdict has been announced on the draft class of 2023. Other than Anton Harrison, it certainly was not a good start. But hopefully Bigsby can pick a big year 2 jump. Hopefully Strange and Lacey Abdullah can take big year 2 jumps. That's the hope. Is that the expectation? I don't know. That's the hope, though. But I really like this draft class in 2024, and I'm excited about seeing some of these guys, or really all of these guys actually, on Friday when we get to go out and observe rookie minicamp. Almost at halftime here on Hacker After Dark. 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. We'll take you up till 8 o'clock. NBA playoff action tonight. Game 2, Madison Square Garden. Indiana and the New York Knicks. Knicks lead that series 1-0. In the National Hockey League, the Bruins and the Panthers drop the puck in about 35 minutes. Boston leads that series 1-0. Game 2 tonight down in South Florida. JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. He comes up in about 20 minutes. Coming up next, let's go outside of Jacksonville, but we'll remain in the National Football League. Let's take a look at some big storylines. They have issues at Kansas City with one of their young stars. A lot of interesting things going on, including the world tour that Zay Jones is on, visiting his third team in, I believe, what is 3 consecutive days. We'll talk about that next. Hacker After Dark on a Wednesday here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
More football.
Give me the ball.
More sports talk.
That's the foundation of this team.
More Jacksonville.
An entire city.
1010XL.
Bring it in, guys.
When you want more. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Folks, the First Coast has voted. Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is proud to be chosen as Bold City's best in 4 categories: Best Orthopedic Practice, Physical Therapy, Pain Management, and Foot Care Clinic. For the last 30 years, JOI has continually strived for the highest level of orthopedic surgery and rehab care. As the needs of the community evolve, so will they. That's why coaches, parents, and athletes choose JOI. Call them at JOI 2000 or visit JOI.net. JOI, where the pros go.
Baloo here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners, Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley, have been helping first-time home buyers with their mortgage financing all over Florida for 34 years. First-time home buyers can get no or low down payments, anywhere from 0 to 3.5% down. As a first-time home buyer with Trustline Mortgage, you get added benefits for doing your loan with us, like lower rates on your mortgage insurance and lower closing costs. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Trustline gives first-time homebuyers better mortgage interest rates? Here's the bottom line. Trustline Mortgage wants to help first-time homebuyers accomplish your goal of home ownership. That's why Trustline Mortgage is offering the best first-time homebuyer benefits around, period. Trustline Mortgage delivers with no and low down payments, lower closing costs, and better interest rates. Call Trustline Mortgage today at 381-LOAN. That's 381-LOAN to find out how we can help you buy your dream home. Or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing opportunity. MLS number 331480.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Anytime you've got major plumbing problems, and even the minor ones, there's several potential causes, and they usually can't be easily detected. So don't guess at a solution. Hire Roland Reese Plumbing at plumbingjacksonville.com.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. One of the biggest changes we've seen in fine jewelry over the last 25 years has been the growth of jewelry designers. At Underwoods, we're the leader, bringing to North Florida the best names in designer jewelry. In fact, we carry designer lines in a similar way to how clothing stores carry designer labels. The difference is that jewelry designers have to be a little more timeless in their presentations because nobody wants to buy a fine piece of jewelry only to find out the next year it's gone out of style. That's why you'll find at Underwoods the best of the jewelry designer names, those that are tried and true and popular. Names like David Yerman, Roberto Coin, John Hardy, Marco Bichigo, Jude Francis, Lagos, Hippolyta, and a lot more are all available right now at Underwoods. So if you want the best looks in designer jewelry, stop by Underwoods. San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Are you ready to help lock down the bank in 2024? Don't miss a single moment when quarterback Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars take on some of the biggest names in the NFL. Become a season ticket member now to get access to exclusive experiences, events, and player appearances all season long. Lock in your seats for 2024 now by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at Everbank Stadium.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, and equal opportunity employer.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. 7 o'clock hour is here. In for Blue. We'll take you up till 8 o'clock tonight. 1010XL 92.5 FM. Boy, they got some problems in Kansas City. Rashee Rice, who was one of their young stars at wide receiver, we all know about the racing incident. That was a big issue for him, a couple of weeks ago. Got arrested for that. Now, apparently, he is a suspect in an alleged assault in Dallas. That is not good. When you have two issues involving the law within a month's time, yikes. And, of course, now, after the fact, you got a lot of people that cover the draft that are coming out and saying, yeah, we kind of heard some stuff about this kid prior to getting drafted. And that's unfortunate that's coming out now. I didn't hear any of that. Maybe they did in Kansas City, but I didn't hear much of that at all. But unfortunately, look, Kansas City, they did draft Xavier Worthy in round number 1 from a football sense. You hope they can figure out what they're doing with the wide receiver position for Patrick Mahomes. They gave Travis Kelce that big extension. But as far as Rashee Rice, who knows? You have two incidents with the law. One, a suspect in an alleged assault. The other, a drag racing incident in which people got injured. Ugh, that is not good, man. Not good at all. Joe Burrow back in the news. Why? Because he's back on the field. Mentioned this earlier in the week. Cincinnati going through some rookie minicamp, I believe, this week. And Joe Burrow was out there throwing for the first time in a while since that Thursday night game where he got injured in Baltimore. And he is one of several quarterbacks that are coming back off of injury. Joe Burrow back in the fold, Anthony Richardson back in the fold, Justin Herbert back in the fold. It's just wild to think about the AFC. It really didn't come to fruition last year because of the injuries. But you look at the AFC now, right? Aaron Rodgers, right, got hurt as well. Think about the American Football Conference. Let's go division by division. AFC East, you got Tua, you got Josh Allen, you got Aaron Rodgers. AFC South, Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Stroud. We'll see about Anthony Richardson, Will Levis. AFC North, Burrow's back. Deshaun Watson's back. Lamar Jackson's the reigning MVP. Russell Wilson now with Pittsburgh. And, of course, in the AFC West, it's all about Mahomes and Herbert. Of course, you got the big Gardner Minshew signing with the Las Vegas Raiders. And Bo Nix, the rookie in Denver. The AFC is just loaded, man. Absolutely loaded. Wish some of those guys would have found their way to the NFC, but they didn't. Take the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFC right now. Who are they? Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts. Where would those guys rank in the AFC? Would they even be in the top 5? I don't know. We'll see about Caleb Williams, right? We'll see about Jaden Daniels. They got some new blood in the NFC at least, with the number 1 and number 2 picks in the draft. But man alive. A lot of injured good quarterbacks are coming back into the fold, including Anthony Richardson in the Jaguars division, the AFC South. Speaking of quarterbacks, we're at the time of year after the draft where people start doing post-draft analysis, roster analysis, right? Or in this case, on CBSSports.com, 2024 quarterback power rankings. JJ, have you seen this list, 1 to 32, that came out earlier this afternoon?
No.
All right, so Trevor Lawrence, based on what we know that he did last year, based on where guys landed in free agency via trade, the draft, etc., where would you think, or where do you think CBS Sports had Trevor Lawrence 1-32 entering mid-May?
I don't know, 15 or something?
That's exactly right. They had him right in the middle. 15, right smack dab in the middle of the league. And you know what? I think that's probably fair. I don't know how you can argue that. The quarterbacks that were ahead of Trevor Lawrence, obviously Patrick Mahomes. Brock Purdy, they had number 2. I don't know about that. He did go to the Super Bowl. I mean, I get it, but that's a little rich for me. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, C.J. Stroud, Lamar Jackson. Let me stop right there. AFC, 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 AFC. Yikes. Then Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert. All right, let me stop again. Is Dak Prescott better than Trevor Lawrence? I would argue that. I'm not certain about that. I would probably take Trevor, actually. Is Justin Herbert better than Trevor Lawrence? Again, the Herbert thing, man, I hear how great he is, right? Like, I keep hearing how awesome he is. Guy hasn't won a playoff game. He lost his only playoff game to Trevor. And now all of his weapons are gone. Austin Eckler's gone. Gerald Everett's gone. Keenan Allen's gone. Mike Williams is gone. I don't know if I would have Herbert above Trevor Lawrence. They got Jordan Love above Trevor Lawrence. Now I am going to start taking issue with this list. Jordan Love was not good up until about Thanksgiving of last year. And then all of a sudden he turned out to be pretty good towards the end of the year. Will that continue? But I'm sorry, if you give me the option right now of Jordan Love or Trevor Lawrence, I am not taking Jordan Love. Aaron Rodgers, that's a career achievement award. Plus he's coming off an Achilles. Tua is not better than Trevor. He is on this list. I would probably say Jared Goff is better than Trevor. And they got Kirk Cousins, again, a 35-year-old coming off an Achilles. So I stand corrected. I'm not sure how fair that list is. Just out of curiosity, the quarterbacks they have right behind Trevor, Matt Stafford, Deshaun Watson, Geno Smith, Russell Wilson, Baker Mayfield. All right. I would have Trevor a little higher, but the point is, Trevor did not play well last year. Was it due to injuries? Yeah, probably. But nationally, that's going to be the narrative. Trevor regressed in 2023 from where he was in 2022. Will that regression continue this year, or will he turn the corner and go back to the 2022 player that we saw take the Jaguars to the AFC divisional playoff? More NFL coming up in a matter of moments. JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars Radio about 10 minutes away. I did want to bring this up as well as we shift gears quickly to the world of college football. We'll do more on this tonight. Cole Kublik will join us tomorrow, actually, to talk a little Florida Gators. CBS Sports put out their way too early post-spring top 25. 8 Gator opponents are on this top 25. 8 of the 12. Now, I said last night, the Gator schedule to me is a good logo schedule. I'm not sure how good some of these teams are. But CBS has Georgia 1, Texas 4, Ole Miss 6, and LSU 10. 4 of their top 10 are on the Gator schedule. The remaining teams, Tennessee 16, JJ, your Miami Hurricanes are 17, Florida State is 20, and Texas A&M 23. Every team I named, the Gators play in 2024. Goes to show you how tough this schedule is on paper. Will that translate onto the field? We'll see. But on paper, it might be the toughest schedule in the history of Florida football. JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com, Jaguars Radio, previewing rookie minicamp, reviewing the Jaguar draft class. He's next. Wednesday night edition, Hacker After Dark.
Stimulate your carburetor.
He's gonna do it!
Sunday at Darlington.
That's what we came to see.
Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234. From the station with the most horsepower, 1010XL.
Baloo for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinakriDC.com.
If you're an experienced, skilled plumber or welder that's MedGas certified and you're tired of working for a company that just doesn't treat you right, Local 234 is the place for you. Their pay is the best in the business. You'll walk away with $35.09 an hour in your pocket. With benefits, that's just over $50 an hour. Local 234 has been around since 1901, and that means something. Visit UA234.com to send your resume. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Homeowners and investors, the choice of title company is yours. When making that decision, choose the team of St. John's Title, LLC. As board-certified expert attorney-owned firm with decades of experience, we provide the utmost in precision and professionalism. Conveniently located offices and in-home remote closing options, we serve your needs. Whether refinancing or selling your property, our customer-first approach is tailor-made to your timeline. With a seasoned team of experts and 5-star testimonials from customers across the First Coast, call or visit St. John's Title today.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida, and don't let the state decide your fate.
He was the best back in Jacksonville.
It has to be Fred Taylor.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on The Drill Monday mornings at 8:30.
A tough guy.
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and B&B Fuel and Lubricants.
Save thousands on Mother's Day gift ideas now at Beard's Diamonds.
Like a beautifully handcrafted 3-carat diamond tennis bracelet, originally $4,050, now sale priced at just $26,3250.
You'll save over $1,400 in the St. John's Town Center or BeardsDiamonds.com.
Hacker here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. You know, for a long time, I heard Mike Dempsey and Matt Hayes talking about Awaken 180. Now, I have tried a lot of weight loss programs in the past, and when I heard them talking about Awaken 180, I said, you know what? What the heck? Let me give another one a try. The best decision I have ever made when it comes to my weight loss. I got on Awaken 180 on February 20th, and since that point, I'm down almost 60 pounds. 60 pounds in well under 3 months, thanks to the good folks at Awaken 180 Weight Loss. The best weight loss program I have ever been on. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, do yourself a favor. Go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800. Take it from me. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Prosser here for Lifetime Flooring. You've heard us rave about Lifetime enclosures. Now let's talk about Lifetime Flooring. I can tell you firsthand, the products and services, the best in Jacksonville. As you know, updating your floors is one of the most dramatic changes you can make to your home. Call the experts at Lifetime Flooring now and ask about their buy one room, get one room free promotion through Memorial Day. 0% financing available to meet any budget. Visit their beautiful showroom just off Phillips Highway and tell them Prosser sent you.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays, and new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sports book. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Corona's the cold one you're craving all spring and all summer. Celebrate the season from Cinco de Mayo on, always refreshing, always hitting the spot. And with Corona Premier, it's only 90 calories and pairs perfectly with almost any appetite or adventure. It's easy to enjoy the summer sun when you know you're reaching for a cold Corona is only a cooler away. Find it at your local grocer or convenience store. Corona Premier. Light and refreshing. Perfect for any day or night under the sun.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguar draft is in the rearview mirror. 9 guys drafted. How does that affect the current roster? Well, quite frankly, it already has, as Joey Sly and Zay Jones have already been released. Let's talk about all of it with JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. He's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. JP, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Hacker. Nice to be back with you. It's been a little bit. A lot is happening the last couple of weeks, and a lot in the weeks ahead in the off-season program. We're already in phase 2, so moving forward here.
Yeah, it's been a very, very busy offseason. Let's begin with the news of Zay Jones' release. I think a lot of Jaguar fans, JP, saw the writing on the wall. Certainly when Brian Thomas was drafted, there was hope that maybe Zay could remain here as a wide receiver 4, but clearly that was not in the plans.
It's an expensive wide receiver 4. You know, if his I think that's the priority number 1 was the money involved in it. And I mean, the other changes they've made, they added Gabe Davis already. Now they've got Brian Thomas Jr. They've got some younger guys, developmental guys the last year or two that they're very confident in. So it seemed like the right time. And, now they've got a little bit of savings to go into the rest of this offseason. If they find something else they want out there, they'll have a little more room to maneuver. So, I mean, Zay had some big moments here. There's no doubt about that. I mean, there was some big-time catches in big games, in key situations, but only, missed a lot of time last year too. So kind of a mixed bag, and obviously the off-the-field stuff overshadowed last year a little bit, though there were no charges brought for any of that a little bit later. So it's all kind of wrapped up and done now, and now the Jaguars can move forward with kind of a new starting receiver core with obviously Christian Kirk coming back, but Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas, that's a pretty good trio.
No, it is. There's no doubt, and I want to get your thoughts on that room in a moment. Final thought on Zay in relation to the fans. Fans really seem to like Zay Jones. I mean, he was only here for 2 years, but he had some big moments, as you said. Why do you think Zay and the fans, I guess, related so well together?
I don't know. I always thought he gave thoughtful and deep answers. It wasn't just, let me give you a quick, cliche answer. I mean, he would truly think about a question and give you as strong of an answer as he could. I always thought he gave respect to the media in that regard, and in turn giving respect to the fans who are watching those interviews. So I liked that approach from him. And I just felt like he was pretty genuine in his interaction with not just media, but people in general. And, that carries over a long way. And that part I think we'll miss, because Zay was – you want to talk about a conversation now. I mean, you sit down with him and get into any topic, you're going to get quite a longer bargain than you thought. So that's the part I think I'm going to miss the most, is the conversation he would have with us in the locker room.
Yeah, for what you and I do, Zay on offense, Rayshon Jenkins on defense, we're going to have to find some more talkers in that Jaguar locker room this year. No question about that. JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com, Jaguars Radio. JP, I was going through my camera roll on my cell phone earlier because I remember a picture I took at training camp in mid-August last year, and it was Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, and Zay Jones. And I remember at the time thinking, all right, man, this wide receiving core could be interesting for the next couple of years. And now here we are 8-9 months later, and Kirk is the only guy left. But like you said, Gabe Davis has arrived, a first-round pick in Brian Thomas, a lot of turnover in that wide receiver room. What do you make of the wide receiver room the way it stands right now?
Yeah, add Devin Duvernay to the mix as well, who came in free agency and could be a role on offense. And And, of course, I think you count Evan Ingram in that mix, too, just the way he runs routes and does certain things on the offensive side. So they've got different weapons. And, I think a big priority, and this has been fairly evident and clear over the last couple of years, but a big priority for the coaching staff when they are looking for players to fill, especially in this offense, is that high football IQ. You cannot be just running around not knowing where you're going. I mean, they like to change a lot at the line. They would like to, I think, a little bit more and set up certain matchups against the defense that they may not have time to flip a formation or whatever. There were a couple instances in the past where Zay Jones, I know one for certain, they made a change at the line, and Zay all of a sudden had to run Christian Kirk's route because they didn't have time to change it, and it went for like a 50-yard touchdown. And things like that are something this offense really needs. And that's, I think, was a priority going into this offseason. We need guys that know how our offense is built. They know how to adjust off of it. And that's what they're looking for. And I think that's what they got in Davis. They feel like that's what they got in Brian Thomas Jr. We heard Doug Peterson's answer about that the next day after Brian Thomas showed up. So that's where they are. They need smart players, especially at the skill positions, to run those routes, and then obviously Trevor Lawrence to get the ball out to them on time if he has time to do that. That's priority number one, is to keep him upright.
Brian Thomas is not coming by himself. The Jaguars went to Baton Rouge 3 times. He's bringing with him about 640 pounds of defensive line in Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson, really beefing up that interior D-line. And, JP, I go back to Trent Baalke at the end of the year. It was like late January. He held that press conference. And at the time, everybody was focusing on Calvin Ridley and Josh Allen, right? What's their future? But Baalke told us, he said, look, we need to get physical, tougher, stronger on the line of scrimmage. And you look at this offseason with the combination of free agency and what they did in the draft, I think they added 8 guys that are 280-plus to both sides of the ball.
It's an excellent point, right? And on the defensive side of that, if they're going to play more true 4-man fronts, which they've kind of hinted at over the conversations we've had publicly, you need bodies to do that. So you need to add some defensive tackle depth. And just speaking to those guys, I mean, Jordan Jefferson is a beast. I mean, the guy's throwing up, 38 reps at the combine on the bench press and was a one-year player transferred in. And then Mason Smith, a big, just a measurable, he is massive and can move and might have gone a little bit higher. There was some changes in Baton Rouge, especially in the defensive line and the coaching staff. They had a lot of different turnover there. And so that inconsistency, I wonder if Mason Smith, the last year or so, might have gone a little bit higher in the draft, even had he had a little more consistency around him on the staff there. But that's all in the rear view now. They're both here. So that's big. And then, Javon Foster, the tackle from Missouri, right? That's another guy that he may not start right away. He could be a swing tackle. That's fine. But he's a guy that you have and you develop him. And at some point, Cam Robinson's contract will be done. At some point, Walker Little may or may not be around. They're both in their final years, so you need those kind of next wave of guys to either be the depth for the starters or step into a role here or there.
A couple of more for J.P. Shadrick. You get him at Jaguars.com, and, of course, you hear him on Jaguars Radio. J.P., they chose not to go corner in rounds 1 or 2. They did in rounds 3 and 5. Jerrion Jones from Florida State, DeAndre Prince from Ole Miss. Your thoughts on how Jones and Prince will intertwine, if you will go into that corner room with the Tyson Campbells, the Ronald Darbys, and the Darnell Savages of the world?
Well, I mean, Jerrion Jones is, and they've said it after the draft, he is a nickel corner and a special teams contributor. So that sounds to me like Darby's going outside and obviously Tyson Campbell on the other side. So Jones, if he's not starting there, he'll compete at that nickel spot. That's fine. But Jones will be a contributor somehow on this team. Now, the question is DeAndre Prince. I mean, he went to Ole Miss. That's fine. And put together some solid numbers there. But is he as polished maybe as Jarian Jones in certain areas of his game? Maybe not. He has that blazing speed straight away, and that's fine at the 40. But I think that's a little more of a development. He might be, hey, let's compete for a roster spot, practice squad type situation. I don't want to downplay it early going in, but just the reality of it, the way the cornerbacks are set up in that room already. He's got a lot of veterans to overcome to be able to be one of the guys that's on this roster. But can he happen? Sure. I mean, if he has a really good offseason program and then comes into training camp and kills it, I think Prince has a really good shot to make this team. But I think he's right there on the borderline. I think Jones is on it and fine, but Prince is just a little bit different.
JP, one of the things that was lost with the Zay Jones news was that Joey Sly was cut as well. Of course, he was a free agent the Jaguars brought in, like 7 weeks ago, and he's been sent out the door today because they drafted Cam Little out of Arkansas, a 20-year-old. I don't think Little turns 21 until August. But, man, all the confidence in the world. I know you were a part of that Zoom call that he had on Saturday. That was something else, and a very confident young man, which I like, by the way, coming to Jacksonville. And it appears, I mean, he's going to be in competition with Riley Patterson, but you would think a 6th-round pick, he's going to have every opportunity to win that kicking job.
Yeah, Cam Little's the kicker, Hacker. I mean, come on, give me a break. You don't draft a kicker and make him – I mean, yeah, you compete and do all that. I mean, but unless he starts missing field goals all over the place in training camp in the preseason.
Or hitting Dave Campo in the head at training camp. That would be bad, too. I was going to leave that out. I mean, Coach remembers that. He may not remember that. He might have amnesia. I don't know how that works when you hit the head with football on a field goal. We know what they went through the last couple of years at kicker, right? And the last thing they want to do is that again. So they feel like Cam Little's their guy, and I'm with you. I like the confidence, okay, borderline cockiness. That's fine as long as he can back it up. And he certainly did that at Arkansas. Yeah, he's a youngin', that's for sure. He's 20. And Riley Patterson will be here. They need 2 legs in camp. They're going to have to, that's how it works a lot of times. And then, but at the end of the day, it's Cam Little's job, even though they'll tell you they're all competing. You don't draft a kicker and then get rid of him too fast. JP, again, JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com, Jaguars Radio. They have money, man. I mean, I think they had the 5th, or among the 5 top most free agent money right now for the remainder of the offseason. I think the Zay Jones and Joey Sly moves save an additional $4 to $5 million. My question is, and we did this song and dance last year with veteran guys post-draft, they never brought in a veteran edge rusher. They had every opportunity, but they never did, or they never signed anybody, rather. Is that a position that you think may need upgraded? And also, there's a lot of interesting corners from Stephon Gilmore, Xavier Howard. There's talk that Lattimore's not happy in New Orleans. Do you think Jacksonville potentially adds a veteran prior to training camp?
That's an interesting thought, right? Because, if they already went out and got a couple of secondary guys, the veteran guys in free agency. But if there's somebody out there they feel like can be right away a starter at the outside, that's a guy who's done it at a high level, that's going to cost you some money. That's the trick. They've rolled some money back into the future to make some space. And, we'll see what happens if they can get the deal done with a quarterback. That could open up even more money in the short term while rolling a lot of money to the cap in future years. That remains to be seen what they're going to do with that. But, I'm with you on the corner. That kind of makes sense to me if you feel like, you're that person away from being right. But we don't know. I mean, this is a new defense. It's a new coordinator. It's a new scheme. And there's a lot of new faces there. And, they've got to kind of get their sea legs underneath them, I think, and figure out what they are as a defense. What they do, what every defense needs is as many pass rushers as you can get your hands on. So they feel like with Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen, that's fine. And they've got Abdullah, who's didn't get a lot of development on the field last year, right? They've got to kind of move him along. They added a couple of pieces in free agency. That's fine. But one more big one could be a good, solid addition to this team. So for me, it's on defense. I think offense is in pretty, I hate to kind of knock on wood here, right? It's in pretty decent shape right now. They've got a lot of the parts that I feel like they wanted. The defense, though, I think is one where obviously with all the changes, there were some issues a year ago. And are they done making moves there? I don't know. I don't think they're going to leave much on the table because they feel like they're right on the doorstep of being the division champ again.
JP, as we begin to wrap up, when they walked off that field in Nashville on January 7th, that was a bad day, right? I mean, losing 5 out of 6, the biggest late-season collapse in franchise history, that was not fun. And heads rolled, right? A coordinator got fired, 10 assistant coaches. I think they're going to have, when all's said and done, probably between 17 and 20 new players on the roster that were not here in 2023. Having said all that, over the last 3.5 months, clearly on paper, this is a better roster than what walked off the field in Nashville, correct?
I mean, yeah, I would think so. I mean, the changes they've made at receiver, right, are in theory can be an upgrade at some point. Is Brian Thomas ready for the big time as a rookie wide receiver? That's tough for a lot of rookies to come in and truly dominate in their rookie season at that position. So I don't know how much you can truly ask of Thomas. We'll see what he has to offer when he shows up here next week and beyond. Offensive line, they got a veteran center who knows how to play the game physical style, and that's what they were lacking at times, short yardage, and, those kind of goal line situations. Maybe Mitch Morse is an answer there. So, yeah, I mean, I would hope they feel like they got better. Eric Armstead, veteran defensive tackles, done it at a high level. Now he's coming off an injury. Is he ready to go? We'll find out when things get real, I think, in training camp about him, for sure. But they feel like they got a lot more of a veteran presence there in the interior, and you just needed to be stouter against the run overall on defense, and they did that with the big bodies, I think, in the draft to help the depth up front. So, yeah, it's better. How much better? I guess we'll find out come January again.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You can only go on paper right now. Obviously, when things get real here in a couple of months, we'll have a much better understanding. JP Shadrick. JP, what's coming up on Jaguars.com? It was unbelievable content all draft weekend long. I know a lot of people, including myself, are waiting for more of the behind-the-scenes stuff, dare I say, in the hunt in the near future. What can we expect in the coming days, weeks, and months?
I know they're working on more hunt stuff right now as we speak. I don't know exactly when it's coming out, but it should be really soon. A lot of behind-the-scenes stuff at the draft. And thanks for watching our content all week. We got rookie minicamp coming up next weekend. So the kids will start arriving in the middle of the week. Phase 2 is here, so coaches are out on the field. No helmets yet, no contact, but it's kind of the next step of the offseason program. I caught up with Cam Robinson today, and you'll see that interview coming up on Jaguars.com a little later today, if not tomorrow, and going into year number 8. And he's a brand new dad, 2 months old now. So his life has changed a good bit over the last year, and it was good to catch up with him and get his thoughts on where this team is going into 2024.
JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio. JP, I know you're busy, man. Thank you for taking time out. I'll see you out there at OTAs.
All right, Hacker. We'll talk to you next time.
There you go, JP Shadrick. Always appreciate his time with us here on Hacker After Dark. About half the guys the Jaguars drafted played in the Shrine Bowl and the College Football All-Star Game to end the year. Eric Galko is the Director of Football Operations and Player Personnel for the Shrine Bowl. Let's talk DeAndre Prince, Jerry and Jones, Cam Little, and others next. Eric Galko of the Shrine Bowl joins me on Hacker After Dark.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Looking for the win. Scobie sweeps the leg. 59 yards away. He's got it. Jacksonville wins.
1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Choose C for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. They can transform your backyard with fire pits, pergolas, screen enclosures, and outdoor kitchens. And CSS handles the entire project from start to finish. You dream it, they build it. CSSOutdoor.com.
When persistent plumbing problems leave you feeling flushed, don't panic. Call Roland Reich, the one-stop solution for any plumbing problem, residential or commercial. No matter how complex the work, Roland Reich quotes all pricing in advance, so your only surprise is how quickly they'll solve your issue. Whether your pipes are doing a water ballet or you need to hydrojet the whole system, always use Roland Reich Plumbing at plumbingjacksonville.com.
When you hear a great call on 1010XL, telephone communique, it's covered by the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
If you'd like any further information, just call me.
Listen for great phone interviews all day on the All-Pro Roofing phone line on 1010XL.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Looking for a new or used firearm? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach will get you locked and loaded. New firearms coming in weekly and always looking for used guns. No lines and no waiting. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost are the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 23rd.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Are you ready to help lock down the bank in 2024? Don't miss a single moment when quarterback Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars take on some of the biggest names in the NFL. Become a season ticket member now to get access to exclusive experiences, events, and player appearances all season long. Lock in your seats for 2024 now by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at Everbank Stadium.
Mother's Day is right around the corner this year. Give your mother a gift that keeps on giving. How about a zero-resified kitchen? Hey, Hicken here. There's nothing my wife loves more than having Zero Res do a deep clean on the kitchen. Towel and grout. She also loves the look and feel of the granite countertops after Zero Res cleans and seals them. They really pop. Right now, Zero Res offering $50 off towel and grout cleaning and $50 off granite countertops cleaned and sealed. Zero Res, man, you spell it forward. Zero Res, you spell it back. It's the right way to clean.
Test your aim to help local kids succeed. It's the 6th annual Mackenzie Noel Wilson Foundation Clay Shoot to support the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida and Mackenzie's Camp Deep Pond, Thursday, May 30th at Jack's Clay Target Sports. Get your team and the Boys and Girls Club take care of the rest. Ammo, cart, clays, breakfast bites, lunch, and goodies. Proceeds benefit 56 area clubs serving over 5,200 area kids every day. Go to bgcnf.org/events.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, your home for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are glad you are with us. Rookie minicamp for the Jags coming up this week, and the Jaguar draft class looked pretty good to us. Let's talk to some guys that had some interaction with some of the Jaguar drafted players in this process. One of those individuals is Eric Galko. He is the Director of Football Ops and Player Personnel for the Shrine Bowl. He had 3 of the Jaguars' 9 draft picks in his game and a couple of the coveted undrafted free agents. Eric, how we doing?
We're doing great, man. How are you guys doing?
Hey, Eric, we're good. Thank you for the time. And all right, the Shrine Bowl, obviously one of the signature all-star games of the draft process. And you had Jerrion Jones, DeAndre Prince, and Cam Little in your game. Before we talk about those 3 individually and your thoughts on the Jags as a draft as a whole, just talk about the Shrine Bowl a little bit and what you guys have done now for quite some time.
Yeah, this was the 99th year of the Shrine Bowl this past year, but I've kind of taken over the last 3 years or so, and really been focused on making this a best-in-class event. And the Shrine Bowl's seen almost 100% increase in draft picks the last couple of years, and I think we're a best-in-class event that has some of the best seniors in the country, all down in Frisco, Texas, at the Dallas Cowboys facility. So a pretty awesome event, and having guys like Jerrion and DeAndre and the best kicker in the draft, Cam Little, was an awesome treat for us.
Let's focus on those 3. Again, 3 of the Jaguar draft picks did play in the Shrine Bowl. Jerrion Jones was the 3rd-round pick here in Jacksonville. I know you were very high on him watching your social media, particularly the night he got drafted. What did you like about Jerrion Jones at the Shrine Bowl, and what do you think the Jaguars are getting with him?
Yeah, really in college, Jerrion had been a really capable, effective, athletic outside corner at Florida State and was still making huge strides there. But because of the talent they have at that Florida State defense, he was asked to play the nickel this year, and he dominated. He was, I think most NFL scouts would agree that just based off how he played that year, he was the best nickel in college football last year, and he was one of the best nickel corners in this draft class from a projection standpoint. I think for the Jaguars, you got a guy in Jerrion Jones who can step in tomorrow, be an effective high-end nickel, can play outside, can work on the boundary as need be with motions and adjustments and all that stuff as well. But he can be more than that too. And I think getting a plug-and-play nickel with outside potential and a guy who runs in the 4-3s is a fantastic value, I think, for the Jaguars, and a guy that a lot of NFL teams wanted, coveted. I was surprised he lasted as long as he did in the 3rd round, because a lot of teams that told me pre-draft, if he's there in the 3rd, we're probably going to take him, and he won't last long in the 4th round. So Jaguars got a great value when they got him.
Seems to be a guy that loves football, too. And I know that sounds funny, but that matters, doesn't it? A guy that actually loves the game of football.
He does, and he's got the right kind of chip on his shoulder. And some guys say that, and they're like, yeah, but they actually just want to, check the box. They got drafted. Jerrion wants to be a fantastic NFL player, and he's a guy I got a chance to talk to and know a little bit in November and December of this past year, and just talking to me about how to interview well, what matters at an all-star game, what matters in the draft process, how do I translate this to the NFL level. I mean, this is a guy that really wants to be great and special, and like I said, going to the nickel, and some guys in college, when they change positions, it's a little bit of a, I don't want to do that, how am I going to adjust? He took that opportunity and became the best nickel in college football. He's going to get to the NFL, and he's going to be the best version of Jerrion Jones possible. And again, I think the Jaguars got a starting level player for the next decade.
Eric Galko, the Director of Football Ops and Player Personnel for the Shrine Bowl, here with us on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Eric, in round 5, they went back to the corner position. DeAndre Prince from Ole Miss, you had him in your game as well out there. What did you like about DeAndre Prince?
Yeah, similar to Jerrion, that he's a really good athlete, another 4-3 type of 40-yard dash time guy, and a guy who can really play in space and play downfield. But DeAndre is definitely the outside corner version of Jerrion, a tough, physical, but really long and athletic, and can play away from his frame at a really high level. And DeAndre Prince, he's a guy that can develop. I think he's a guy we invited 2 years ago. He's been really good at Ole Miss for the last 2 seasons, and I think he's still hitting his ceiling as a player in the future as well too. But a guy outside corner, physical, can stay in phase as he works in cover 3 or man coverage on the outside. He can really be an effective outside player.
It's interesting because, again, depending on what scouts think, these mock drafts, looking at DeAndre Prince in round 5, the talk I've had the last week or so is the Jaguars might have gotten a steal there. There was some thought he might go around earlier in round 4.
No doubt. It's hard to find guys who are long, athletic, and can run the 4.3s. And that alone was probably enough for Prince, but a guy who's been a 2.5 year starter in the SEC, again, those guys are hard to find, and DeAndre's got a ton of talent to develop with. And hey, if you can find a guy that might be a starter for you in the 5th round, that's a heck of a value.
A couple of more for Eric Galko, the Director of Football Ops and Player Personnel of the Shrine Bowl. And then Cam Little, the kicker from Arkansas, was also at your game. And look, I've talked to Cam Little for about 5 minutes, but I can tell you in that 5-minute conversation, boy, what an interesting guy. This is a guy that oozes confidence. He's the youngest kicker ever drafted in the NFL, and the Jaguars must love him because they've cut Joey Sly after the draft. So it's going to be Cam Little's job, it would appear. I don't think he turns 21 until the month of August. What did you like about Cam when he was out at your ball game?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that's been one of the most consistent kickers in college ball the last 2-3 years. Actually, the kicker that's kicking in the UFL right now, who's making 60-yarders like crazy, he was Cam's backup at Arkansas, and he couldn't beat out Cam. That's how strong of a leg and how effective Cam Little has been in his college career, but has a lot of confidence that you love in a kicker. I got a chance to get to know a guy we had in the Shrine Bowl a year ago, Jake Moody, when I'm going 3rd round. I think Jake and Cam have so many similarities in terms of that raw confidence, that ability to kind of make long field goals, but also never miss those short ones. I think he's missed only 1 or 2 under 40 yards in his entire 3 or 4 year college career. And I think he's a consistent guy under 40 yards and a guy that can certainly be an impact on kickoff. It's matter a lot more now. And I've seen Cam make 65, 70-yard field goals in practice. Obviously, practice of the game is a different story, but he's got the leg that he's shown in college, making many 50-yard-plus field goals, that he can do it in the NFL level too.
There were 3 kickers that went almost back-to-back-to-back. There was a run on kickers in about a span of 10 picks. The Jaguars got Cam 3rd out of those kickers. Were you surprised he was the last kicker to go?
Certainly was, and kickers are a little bit unique in the sense, something like quarterbacks, where it's a little bit of your flavor and what your special teams coach wanted. But certainly pre-draft, I had talked to a lot of teams who thought Cam was 1A or 1B or one of the best kickers. So I think the draft, we played the draft out 10 times. I think Cam's the first kicker taken 6, 7, 8 of those times. But I think in this case, it just happened to be that the Jaguars were able to get the best kicker in the draft at their 3rd spot. And again, that's my opinion. I'm biased a little bit because I think Cam's a heck of a kicker, but I think a lot of NFL teams would agree that Cam's got a great value. The Jaguars got a great value in Cam when they did.
Eric Galko, Director of Football Ops and Player Personnel for the Shrine Bowl. Eric, you also had 2 of the more talked-about undrafted free agents the Jaguars got. Cephas from Texas San Antonio has gotten a lot of talk as to why he didn't get drafted and how the Jaguars might really have something there. Talk about those 2 undrafted guys a little bit.
Yeah, Cephas is one of the most sure-handed receivers in the draft class. He made some fantastic, highly impressive catches at UTSA. And I think he really grew as a complete route runner over the course of the season because he had to be the number 1 guy on question in college. And sometimes I think NFL teams can underappreciate that being the guy that's the focal point of your entire offense. He had over 35 or 40% of all the team's receiving yards. You've got to get open in really unique ways. Teams are game planning for you, and Josh overcame that at a really high level at UTSA. Probably the biggest reason he wasn't drafted is he was a surprise NFL combine snub. I think not being a combine guy, some teams get a little weird about taking those guys in the mid part of the draft, and he ended up falling out. But I think Josh has a fantastic chance to make this roster and be a 4 or 5 receiver for them this year and maybe more in the future. The other receiver, David White from Western Carolina. David's probably a little more of a developmental guy, has a lot of areas to grow in terms of his release and route running and getting off press, but a 6'2 plus body type. This is a guy that I think can make a roster as a special teamer. He was one of the best gunner punt return prospects in this draft class. Not a returner himself, but a guy that can play on both punt teams, now on both kickoff teams and kick return teams. I think he's going to be an impact special teams guy, and if he makes the roster, that'll be probably the key reason why to start.
You know, the Josh Cephas thing is interesting because obviously we didn't watch a lot of Texas San Antonio games here in the city of Jacksonville, but your sentiments are echoed by a lot of people in the draft community that I've talked to since the draft ended a week and a half ago. In that combine snub, people really don't know why he was a combine snub. He did well in your game out there at the Shrine Bowl, and the Jaguars made him a priority free agent, right? Gave him a little more money than they would normally give an undrafted free agent. By all indications, I mean, I think it would be a surprise if Cephas didn't come in here and perform well in training camp.
He'll have every chance to, and obviously the Jaguars depth chart, hey, you know it better than I do, but there's a real opening for receivers 4 through 6 on this roster. And I think Cephas, if he can show a little bit of special teams value, which I think NFL teams always want to see now, again, with that new kickoff rule, that's 8 more plays that you got to find guys that can compete and be competitive on. But I think if he can show a little bit of that, he's going to really impress. And you're going to see some really jaw-dropping catches in practices. The moment's not going to be too big for him. He can get off press. He can get off downfield. And when he extends away from his frame, he has maybe one of the best hands in this entire draft class. So great value there. I think he'll have one of the most fun camps. I think he's going to be a guy that'll be really hard for the Jaguars to cut because of how well he's going to do these next few months.
Eric, as we wrap up, the draft class as a whole, the 3 guys you had that got drafted, Cam Little, we talk about DeAndre Prince, Jarrian Jones, you add them to Brian Thomas and Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson, Javon Foster on down the line. How do you think the Jaguars fared overall?
That was a great draft class, and they addressed the offensive and defensive line, but obviously it'll start with Brian Thomas. And I think the ability he has talking with people at LSU and then scouts who have been at LSU for the last couple of years and watching him. You go to LSU practice sometimes, and it's hard to tell who's better, him or Malik Neighbors. I mean, these guys are really close athletically and how they move, and obviously Neighbors does a lot of things better than Brian Thomas right now, but in 2 years, we may look back and be like, why were these guys drafted 22 picks apart? I mean, Brian Thomas is that physically gifted. He's certainly an athletic freak show at the NFL Combine. If not for Xavier Worthy, Brian Thomas would have been the number 1 talked about player at the NFL Combine, and he's still getting better as a receiver as well, can do a lot of things in the short and mid area as well too. So I think if Brian Thomas hits the way I believe he can and fits in that offense, you've got a wide receiver 1, some offensive defensive line depth, some great secondary help to kind of replenish that part of the team, and the best kicker in the draft, the Jaguars. This may be exactly what they need to take Trevor Lawrence and that team over the edge.
Eric Galko, Director of Football Ops and Player Personnel of the Shrine Bowl. Eric, you guys had 57 players in your game that ultimately got drafted. The 3 here in Jacksonville, 54 others. What is that like for you draft weekend when you see so many players that played in the Shrine Bowl go on to achieve their dream to get drafted into the National Football League?
No, it's super rewarding. It's great for the event and the Children's Hospital that our event's all about, Shriners Children's, and having the attention of those players kind of being a part of that journey. But for me, man, it's the chance to work with these 57 guys and then guys like David and Josh after the draft and be even a small part of their NFL journey. It's incredibly rewarding for myself and our team. The scouting side's fun. The event operations is a lot of work, but these guys being able to look back and say, man, I came to the NFL through this doorway of the East-West Shrine Bowl, and means a lot to me, to our team, and the hospital as well, too. So 57 draft picks, a huge achievement, most ever the event's ever had in 99 years, and we're hoping for another 25% increase next year and be a best-in-class all-star game for the future.
Yeah, Eric, final question. You mentioned next year it'll be the 100th game. Obviously, that'll be a big deal, and I imagine the work has already begun, right? You're already looking for the talent you're going to bring next year.
Yeah, we're well on our way, and we're having our cross-check meetings as we speak, too, so our staff works nonstop for next year's draft class, and we're hoping our 100th game is another record-breaker year for us.
Eric, really appreciate the time. Thank you as always. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, buddy.
And thank you to Eric Galko, the Director of Football Operations and Player Personnel for the Shrine Bowl, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. As, the Shrine Bowl had a handful of Jacksonville Jaguar rookies, including Jarrian Jones, including DeAndre Prince, including Cam Little, Joshua Cephas, just to name a few. So we appreciate Eric taking time out for us here in the city of Jacksonville to talk about those young men. In fact, we're scheduled to talk with DeAndre Prince on Friday down at Rookie Minicamp, and we'll bring you that conversation here Friday on Hacker After Dark. Well, that'll just about do it. What has been a very busy Wednesday night edition. We certainly appreciate you guys for hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. In for Blue again tomorrow and Friday to close out the week. Looking forward to that. We got a ton of people to thank for our Wednesday night program this evening. Again, Eric Galko of the Shrine Bowl. Appreciate his time. Thank you to JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com and Jaguars Radio for joining us. Former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts stopped by back in hour number 1, and we brought you a Hacker After Dark replay of Chad Mahaffey, the head coach of Walker High School in Walker, Louisiana, the head football coach for Brian Thomas during Brian's junior and senior years out at Walker High School, as rookie minicamp for the Jaguars officially kicks off tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow night on a Thursday, and we will do it all over again beginning at 6 o'clock. JJ LaSelva was your producer tonight. JJ, great job as always, man. I'm the hacker, Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Wednesday evening with us right here on Hacker After Dark, on 1010XL, and on 92.5 FM. So for all of us here on HAD, have an absolutely terrific remainder of your Wednesday evening, and we will talk to you again tomorrow night on a Thursday beginning at 6 o'clock. Until then, good night, Jacksonville.